good to go.
Ready. As a preliminary matter, oh, there we go. Okay. As a preliminary matter, this is Rob Benchley, permitted to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call her name, please respond in the affirmative. Caroline Ellis.
Yes.
Thank you. Mary Lathrop Will. I see you. I don't hear you.
Oh. I think, yes.
There you are. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Angus McLeod.
I'm here.
All right, there you are. And Clement Durkees.
Yes.
Okay. Good morning. This open meeting of the Sconset Advisory Board is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020. Due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a public and accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed to and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials of this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting may or may not feature public comment. This meeting, the Sconset Advisory Board is convened by video conference via Zoom app as posted to the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and to take care not to screen share your computer. Anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. We're now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I'll introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold your name until called. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. And please remember to speak clearly in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so through the chair. After members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public who have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and acknowledge and speak to the chair. Each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. And let's see, the chair would like to make a motion for the adoption of the agenda. And
I'll second.
okay, thank you.
Mary.
All right, thank you. All those in favor, Caroline Ellis,
Aye.
Mary Lathrop Will,
Aye.
Angus McLeod, Clement Durkees,
Aye.
okay, and Rob Benchley, aye. Motion is made and seconded and unanimous. And then, hang on one second. So, I guess we're going old business. This would be 73 Baxter Road, Thompson. As we've seen this before, and
Somebody sounds like they're in a tunnel.
I think it's the person who's at the
Yes, yes,
outdoors.
yes.
Is that you, Caroline?
Are you
Yep.
sailing, Caroline?
All right, I should probably, hold on one second here. Can I get that? Yes. So you had asked about the additional photos of other accessory structures along that Matt and his team provided. And it looks like Matt is on too. He's probably gonna listen. But here's some garages along Baxter Road that were provided.
Yeah, see, they're back off the road. It's a different situation.
Actually, not all of them are. Not all of them are.
So like that one, you pull into the driveway and then it's there. And that one you pull in the driveway and it's there.
You know, there are some that are right on the road, actually proud of the house. Actually, this one here is a good example. And I know that there was some talk like there's no precedent for second floors above garages, but
Yeah, I think this is Rob. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut in, but I recall making that comment, and it was, I think I meant in that area of Baxter Road, but nevertheless.
Sure. So there are precedents for it, and so we did. And I don't know if it's okay to talk, Mr. Chair. If I just
Absolutely, yeah.
So we did. We did go back to the HDC. We did get some feedback. They did actually request that we show the relationship of the proposed structure in relationship to the existing structure, which we did provide. Thankfully, we had done some as-built of the main house for some minor interior work, but we did have the three-dimensional model. And I think the board found that fairly helpful. We are going to, because the board didn't finish the meeting at the previous week, we basically we're in the unfortunate position where we get heard on a Monday or a Tuesday, and then the deadline is the following Wednesday. So it's not a whole lot of time to actually make significant revisions. So what we ended up doing was making a minor revision to the submission to integrate a hip roof element, which is one of the requests of the board. However, we've been working on a proposal that integrates the existing garage into the design. And it's something that we're going to try to present to the board tonight. And I'm going to try to pull that up. I didn't want to send it just because, again, with a limited 24-hour turnaround, we kind of did a fairly significant redesign. So if you bear with me for 1 second, I'm going to see if I can pull it up and either send it to.
You can put it up.
I can, yeah, cool.
Yep, absolutely.
Share screen. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Started to.
Yeah, we see your spinny thing.
There it is. Perfect.
So what we had previously was just a straight, gable forward. Tried to keep it fairly simple structure. We did match all the trim details to the house, but this was an alternative that was a kind of combination of feedback we've received from the board and you, which you can see that in this roof pitch. But the idea is that we're actually reusing a portion of the garage itself. And it maintains its facade, if you will. And then we switch to this eve-facing structure. We get this kind of setback transom dormer. So it plays off some of the existing geometries of the main dwelling. Obviously, it's a pretty eve-heavy main dwelling. And this was also something that some of the board members had talked about, the notion of exploring an eve-forward structure. Ironically, initially when we first started this, I did think about an eave option because it does kind of follow a consistent ridge height or a consistent ridge line, if you will, and less of a punctuation, if you will. So this was something that we've kind of gone back and forth. I showed it to the client. She seems to be on board with it. And this was a concept we were going to present to the board tonight. So with that, I just wanted to primarily just be here if you had any questions for me, and then kind of share this with you to get some feedback. And that's all I have, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, as I was looking through this before we met today, I was thinking that a hip really might be a good way to handle the front of this. I think part of what makes it feel so vertical, and it really is. I mean, it's when you compare it to the height of the house in relation to how narrow the structure is, it feels tall. And there's, from the very beginning, there's been something that's been lopsided with it that, you know, unlike at Idlemore where there's a barn that has two large doors and it's story and a half, it's just the garage doors facing the street. And I think what I like about this suggestion, Matt, is that it's just the garage doors rather than a door to the side, but there's still like a thing going on with the building, not, it's, the doors are still off to the side. And I guess that's because you want more width in the middle than is existing now. But is it possible to just center the door, not have a side door facing the street, and do some kind of hip that responds to the flanking hips of the main house?
Sure. I mean, so I did keep it off center, and the client had mentioned the same thing. One of the other comments was from the HDC was to add some quirk to it. And so I thought by not centering it, it kind of facilitated that. But there's no, I guess you could center it. And then in terms of like the hip, I mean, there is a stairwell that goes to that second floor. When you talk about the hip, are you talking about a,
so
like
a low eave over the doors and then just working back up from there?
low eave, like get rid of the gable forward, this one-story element here?
Right.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I started, to be honest with you. But the notion that, I mean, the HDC has said that they want the structure to either be moved, but they don't want it to be demolished. And I just don't have any takers. I mean, all the pricing we've received has been $100,000, to move it. And just, nobody wants it. So I'm happy to move it to anyone's property if they want it. But it's kind of, the HDC has kind of made a very specific statement that they want it moved, but they don't want it demolished. Now, I got nowhere to put it. So I'm kind of forced to integrate it into the design. I would be more than happy. I mean, if I had, if the board felt, I will tell you this, I am more than happy to try that design approach. If you feel strongly about that, I'm happy to do it. I'm just trying to listen to everyone's comments and do whatever I need to do. I don't want to keep it.
In this design, how much is really kept though? Because I mean, the south wall will go away to make space.
I know.
Right?
Yep.
And the east wall will go away.
Yep. No, you're keeping like about 6 feet of the front gable of it, which, I mean, look, there's some, again, I'm responding to what the comments I'm receiving from the HDC. They've kind of put a they made that statement at the last meeting that you can't demolish it, which, by the way, I think is a new standard that, I've kind of told a lot of my broker friends and other people that if you have a 1940s garage, you can't demo it. So that's kind of what we've been told. I would be more than happy to, do what you're suggesting is kind of where I started. But this was a response to the board. So I can take that under advisement and maybe adjust it accordingly.
Oh, boy.
another thing that I really like about this suggestion is that you have more of a slope facing the street if you ignore the front gable, you know, as opposed to that gable to the full height that was proposed before.
Yeah, and that,
I
and
think-
that was something that the board did mention, Angus, that they were like, you know, yeah, that they would prefer like eave forward or, you know, the roof slope towards, which I agree with. I think it does support it better. And the board had said that same thing, so I just want to point that out.
So maybe that gable can turn into a hip.
Yeah, I could try that.
But I mean, if the object is to save the barn, this is not it. I mean, there, so much of it will go away. There'll just be like, you know, 4% left.
The memory of it will be there though, right? I mean, something, I mean, I totally understand what you're saying. And in this scenario, there is, you know, the idea is that this, maybe it existed and that's, you know, I understand your point. But again, I'm trying to kind of respond to everyone's comments there, but I could certainly look at the hip option too. Happy to do that. Cause that was another comment some of the other board members had made, was to integrate some kind of a hip. So happy to look at that.
That is correct. The HDC did talk about a hip. Yep.
Well, it's Rob here. If this is the direction we're going, I mean, I'd be in favor of that.
And again, the board hasn't seen this yet. You're the first to see it. So,
That's right. Yeah.
but having seen it before them, you know, kind of your comments will be welcomed, and they obviously respect your perspective. So, so like I said, we'll get this in front of them tonight and see how it goes. And if,
It's Rob again. I think that, I don't know how our other board members feel, but that sounds very accommodating to me.
Well, this is Clem. This is Clement. I feel like I know the least of anybody here, but looking at this 3D thing, I love how the main house and the garage house the roofs seem to line up. So I like that, and I like how it, whatever you call that, when it doesn't go all the way down the back, goes all the way down the front and not in the back. I like that too. So it looks good to me, but.
Mr. Chair, too, if you guys want to continue to talk about it, I just wanted to be here to show you this, and if it's okay with you, I'll probably just sign off and
Okay.
let you discuss it as a board. But thank you for your time. Thanks for your input so far. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, Matt, thank you for doing all that work.
All right, so I was in there. Sorry, guys.
Holly, I have I guess kind of a technical procedural question. If someone proposes something and it's not really working out, and they just keep bringing it, but you know, not really changing it, like changing it 2% or 5%, and it just keeps coming back. Like in the very beginning, we were talking about saving the garage or moving the garage, and it sounds like no one's interested in taking the move. So in saving the garage, what that last proposal, you know, is going to be 2 feet at the front of it or 4 feet or whatever, but for all practical purposes, it would just go away if that proposed design went through. I mean, at some point is a program just denied because it's not working. Like it could be anything, like designed for 4 bedrooms to go on top of this garage or around the garage. Like, is there like a cutoff where there isn't a design that works to preserve what is needing to be preserved, so it just doesn't happen?
No, I mean, I wouldn't, I think this application and this whole, I mean, you also got to remember there's 2 applications associated with it. There's the proposed move off demo and then the new design. As Matt said, the HDC was adamant on him reusing the structure as much as possible. They did not want, it was a 2-to-2 discussion on that. So I think this is a wrong example of what you're saying. I think there have been applications before the HDC where everybody's provided comments, HSAB has provided comments, and it just didn't seem to be getting there. There's no real rule of how many times, you know, it's really at the end of the day up to the HDC to say, you know what, you haven't addressed X, Y, and Z. You know, you're not, not working with us. But I wouldn't say that for this. I think Matt's doing a really good job to, try to accommodate everybody's.
Yeah, the eaves mimicking what's going on with the house makes it feel so much more like it belongs. I guess it's just the program. It's kind of overwhelming, and there's no getting around it. It overwhelms the existing garage.
So this was the 3D image that Matt provided for the commission based on your comments and their comments of seeing what it looks like with the main dwelling. Obviously, the one that he showed to you all before, which he'll be showing to the commission tonight. That shows that there's some, work being done as far as the design itself. So I think that's good.
By changing that roof plane, it really brought down the face of it, which helps a lot. Thanks, Holly.
Mm-hmm. Any overall comments? I mean, again, I know what Matt showed you is a little bit different than this right now, but.
Yeah.
Rob?
No, I'm sorry. Yes, I was just
Sorry.
feeling badly about the neighbors, but that's always a problem. Practically, many times it's a problem. I mean, it's all within zoning and everything, and what are you going to do?
So I will say that the neighbors to the north, the Osbornes, do have a garage that's pretty much on the street as well. It is not 2-story, but they do have one, and most of the garages along Baxter I'm seeing now are 2-story. I like the new design. I don't like the old design, but I do like the new design, and I sort of sympathize with the fact that they've got this Sears Roebuck kit that they can't unload. It shouldn't be demoed because of its age, but in reality, I mean, in a real world, we may be being a little precious with that recommendation to not demo it.
Hi, it's Rob now. Mary, thank you for that comment. That's well worth noting.
Well, this is Clement. I think what we have seen too is when people don't demolish and they say that they're keeping a part of the building, they really never seem to keep a part of the building.
Mm.
But by having that gable over the garage doors on the west side feels as if the garage was kept. Now, it probably won't be, but it gives the illusion that it was, it's similar to what used to be there instead of this design, which is totally different facade.
Agreed. The new design is preferable.
I agree, Mary.
Yes, thank you. It's Rob again. We've seen, we see it all the time. And it kind of does happen. You know, you get in the middle of it, and the 2x4s that are holding up the thing that makes the garage door works crashes down, and I don't know. That's just the way it happens, I guess. And so, yes, so I feel this new design makes the attempt of having a sort of an aura of what will eventually not be there.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a circuitous way of speaking, but
I got it, Rob.
okay, good. Phew. I know. I got to get out of this basement. I'm way too circuitous when I'm in this basement. So, I guess we're in agreement that Matt can take this up another step, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right. All right, then, shall we move on to the next item?
Yes, so as I don't think we were on at the time, but I mentioned to you, Rob, that the second and third applications for 15 Beach and 9 Beach are on here as a view based on, you all looked at these, what was it, last week, I think?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And there was a conversation about providing, I think I asked Joe Topham to provide what exactly it looks like right now on the street. So I do have that to show you, but the HDC definitely wanted this on their view. So that's why it's on the view. Back here. Sorry, I think I have it over here. Too many things open.
If while you're looking, if I can say, Holly, so there's nothing new with from last week except he did do a streetscape.
Yes, there's nothing new. He provided.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that somewhere in the packet. It was very clever, but now
Okay.
I can't.
Here we go. I'll make it a little smaller, just to give a little bit of a context on Beach Street. There's 11. There's the subject property, and then next door is
The next
7.
the
Yeah.
corner. Yeah.
So of course you have that gable fronting the street. Of course you can't see it from this angle. You could see it if you're standing more on this side. But what it looks like over that door. So
And Holly, so what we're looking at is a Photoshop simulation of where what it looked like.
no, actually this is an actual what it looks like right now.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, showing the subject house in relationship to, actually it's over here, in relationship to 11 and then 9.
Wait, you can't be showing the subject house. It hasn't moved yet.
Right, it's going to be over here. And it's this one over here, sorry.
No, wait, I'm confused. It's moving from the corner. I think that's Photoshop.
This is, no. You
Yeah.
think so?
Yeah.
But isn't
absolutely,
it,
because it's not there.
I thought this was a photo he actually took.
Mm-mm.
yeah,
No.
I think
Never.
isn't that Gone Native?
Gone
No.
native.
Gone Native is right here.
Left. Yeah. But yeah. So it hasn't moved there yet. This is a simulation of what it will look like when it has moved. And it'll be dense, as the letter that was submitted indicates. It will be very dense, but what we also can't see from this very cleverly photoshopped picture is what effect the majority of the house will have on 11 Beach Street. And my guess is it's blocking its light. My guess is it's right up against it.
Oh, yep. Okay. Photoshop streetscape. Sorry. You were correct.
And could I ask where was the house moved from in the Photoshop? Can you show me on that photograph?
Bank Street.
No, it's
But-
the one that just left.
It's
I
over
think that-
here.
Yeah, that's the building as it exists on the left side. And then this is where it's going to be moved, I guess.
Okay,
It's not, Mary, it's not the one on the corner. It's the one in from the corner because I just walked down there.
Justin, it's the cottage to the one on the corner.
Well, maybe it used to be, but I don't think they're connected anymore.
Well, it's all one piece of property.
but I just was wondering about looking ahead a little bit. If you moved that, they're talking about putting a new house in where they're moving the cottage off. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There
And that's
eventually
what-
will be. Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to have a sense of that as well. Where on the property of that blue that you're showing is the new house going?
Well,
That's,
that's going to be a
that-
future application. Joe has not submitted that yet, but this is the structure in question that will be flipped, moved here to look like.
Okay. And the little number 11 or whatever it is the number 11 is gone native.
Correct.
Right here. Yep.
How unneighborly. I mean, really?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this doesn't even bother me as much as the next thing, which is just going to really ruin Gone Native.
Yeah, they're going to build something big there too. And the point is that Gone Native is under agreement, so they're very opportune here in that they're quickly flipping the neighborhood while the owner of Gone Native is sort of in transition.
I can tell you that when I walk down there, it is so dense down there already. I couldn't see, 5 feet, 10 feet maybe, but to put a whole house in that space seemed really, really tight to me. I'm sure they've measured and they think they can do it, and then to put another building in there as well is,
Because we know that the existing building that's being moved is tiny, 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 right?
331 square feet.
Right. So whatever they designed to replace the moved structure is really gonna, as dense as it is, it's really gonna hurt, it seems to me, Gone Native.
Yep.
oh, there it is. Okay.
but I mean, and I must admit that this map, I can't even read, to tell you the truth. Oh, well,
Beach Street is on your left.
yeah, I mean, I got that, but it just seems, I don't
What's
think-
been so confusing and disorienting about this whole presentation is that we haven't seen, pan back and see the Beach Street where beach meets bank and what houses are adjacent and all that. All this is in a vacuum. And it's,
this particularly is, and I don't think there's that much room between Beach Street and the existing residents as they're showing on this map. That looks like a huge expanse. When you see it in real life, it looks like it's just right there, like 10 feet.
I'm used to reading plans, and this has been one of the most perplexing presentations I've seen.
I think that's the point. I mean, Beach Street is under dire threat of entire change. Gone Native will be the only house left with any semblance of the old neighborhood because the Wilners are trying to take the shotgun across the street from where this house is purported to be moving. And doubling its size. And then the people on the corner of Bank and Beach are getting rid of their 300 square foot cottage so that they can put you know, a 700-foot addition onto their house.
And what's that, Gone Crazy?
And then, well, Gone Crazy is on Codfish Park Road.
Okay, all right.
No, the one, I don't know the name of the one that's on the corner of Bank and Beach.
I don't know that it has a name.
Maybe First Sunlight or something.
It's
Yeah, but
across the street from Tours End, also on the
Yeah.
market. Who knows what they'll do to that?
right, exactly.
Do you look at these things? I mean, have we ever gone to look at something?
Well, I walked down there, Caroline, just the other day, and it just seems impossible to me to move and build another thing down there. You know, it would help. So now we can see the house that's on the corner. I don't think that's exactly the footprint of it, but why can't we see Gone Native should be on this map, and the other house that's on the first corner that's on Codfish Park and Beach, we should be able to see that and how close that gets to this new
The
house.
The whole
So you-
neighborhood, the whole
Yeah.
neighborhood.
If we could see that whole block.
Take a look at the GIS map. That'll show you.
Oh, yeah, you're right, Mary. Yeah.
So this
But
one's
with
not a good one to show.
Overlaid, you know?
Yeah.
Hi, it's Rob with a question on this screen we're looking at now, and Holly has up for us. The north arrow that's kind of over on the right side, is the arrow pointing at the Gone Native lot? So
Yes.
further, so the actual arrow tip itself is in the Gone Native property.
Yes.
I think so.
Okay, and so that little cottage is right there.
Yeah.
But not showing on this plan, because that's the way things get done sometimes. Okay,
Let's see.
So is this basically going from one side of Gone Native to the other, from the west side to the east side of Gone Native? Is that what's happening?
Yes. So it's going to be ridge line facing and then rotated so it's gable ended facing over here.
And Gone Native has that easement of a path to their building.
oh, I see. They don't show Gone Native on that plan either.
No, but if you look at the GIS,
Yeah.
Gone Native has this funky little lot right here.
Yep.
It's a small lot.
Yeah, so this house on the left is going to be moving across their path and getting very close to number 7, I guess it is.
Yep. Stuffed in between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff between 11 and 7, is that right?
11 and 7. 7 is the one that's on the corner. 11 is Gone Native.
Mm-hmm. So
So-
9.
But
No.
based on this site plan, he is going to meet setbacks. Just wanted to throw that out to you all.
Mhm.
And he said something about that grid, that it was where the sewer lines would be, or I can't remember.
Septic.
That is the septic.
Yeah.
So again, this is why this was put on the view by the HDC, because they want to physically go out there and take a look at it.
Good.
No new information has been provided, but except for that.
It
Well,
does
when
seem,
you look at that simulated picture, you're like, well, I've seen that view a gazillion times, you know, cottages close to each other and a hedge with an arch through it. And what's wrong with that?
Thank you very much.
Disingenuous.
Well, and as you will recall, the people that were on the corner, they're the 7 Beach. They came to us about that shed that's on the back of their house last year. I remember the high school did it, and I don't know. So, I mean, obviously
Yes.
people are concerned about how many square feet they have of lawn.
The thing is that the little house that's there suits the whole neighborhood as it exists.
The 300 square foot house, yes.
Yeah, it could just stay there, you know?
Yeah, nothing happens in a vacuum, and this is like tinkering with one piece of it, and it changes the chemistry of all of it. And I think that it does a disservice to really anybody looking at it, not to see, you know, an outline of where it was and where the other buildings are. And I mean, it's been challenging.
Well, also what they propose to put on the lot that they are vacating.
Right.
Yes, it's Rob now. It's almost like there's a lack of information. I mean, you know, we can do all the overlays that we want in our heads, but I just think the applicant needs to help us out here and, you know, just be upfront about. I mean, I realize that he said he had to get the move off for Toscana, so you know they needed a permit so they could before they could move the house, kind of a thing, and get their slot in there. But I don't know. This is going to affect a lot of neighbors.
Yeah, I don't think that's our worry either, Rob.
Correct.
I'm not concerned about Toscana. I'm concerned about the neighborhood.
Yes. Thank you for
Yeah,
not being circuitous.
we need to see the neighborhood to really look at this.
Right. I think so too. And there's no sense of urgency. I mean, I don't mean that we would ever delay it, but I think we need more information to even think about the impact this has on everybody that's around.
Holly, is it possible to just request a plan that shows, you know, that encompasses all the 2 or 3 houses deep around this situation and show where it is and where it's proposed to go, so that we can just look at the whole picture as a whole?
I also, it sounds like you all are really concerned, and I think we all are, of what's going to go in its place. And typically with a move on, move off scenario, whatever's going to be put in its place, that is tracked along with it. So you know, that could be a recommendation as well, that the new home for 9 Beach is indicated, or 15 Beach.
That sounds great.
Yes, I agree. And if I may add also what's just going on in that neighborhood within the neighborhood, as I keep calling it, you know, right across the street. I mean, this is vast changes potentially in a very short period of time. And I don't hear the bulldozers yet, but I mean, what am I trying to say? You know, we could ruin that streetscape in a flash, and I think we need to be careful.
We've already seen 3 different incursions into the streetscape's integrity this spring alone. I mean, you
Right.
know this is coming. And the only neighbor who's not in on this right now is the poor person who's got gone native under agreement.
Right. Understood.
I mean, it's not our job to protect that individual, but it is our job to protect the integrity of the streetscape, and it's under threat. And interestingly, this is just bringing back the whole thing that happened on the corner of New and Lincoln a year or 2 ago.
Yeah.
We might have some of the same players involved as well.
Ooh. Well, we have one of the same players.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
And
the
it's
old
still-
water,
and
the old
and
water
it's-
tower.
It
Yep.
still looks awful. It looks just awful.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so Holly, you said that the board wants to do a viewing, or is this,
So this is on, let me just double check. This is on, I know 73 Baxter is.
Your
Sorry.
hand goes up in the air. It's so funny.
This is not on for, is this on for tonight? Sorry, there's so many different agendas and they change all the time. It's kind of cumbersome. I don't
Look-
believe this is on for this evening. I know 75 Baxter is under old business, but it doesn't look like this one is. So it's on a view and then it'll be put on, provided whenever the applicant gets any revisions on as well. So that can, when it comes up, I will obviously let the commission know that you all would want to see, this tracked along with the future
Correct.
15. And it
And
sounded
the
like from
neighborhood.
And
the
whole-
neighborhood.
the whole
It
street.
sounded like 15, from what Joe had said, that he was going to be submitting something soon, but I don't know on that. But I don't see to me, it doesn't seem like a off the wall request for the commission to do, to have it track with it. They do that all the time, just like 73 Baxter. So
Holly, I have a question. You may have told us already, but has that viewing for 73 and also Beach Street, has that been scheduled yet?
that is, I'm not too privy on when that's, usually the applicant indicates to staff, and then staff lets the commission know that it's available for viewing.
Okay.
And then they do that on their own accord.
Oh, so they don't go out as a group?
No.
Okay. Maybe we could take the 300 square foot house and move it up to Baxter Road. Get it all done at once. On the
I was actually shocked to see that I guess in 2009, when that structure was built, that was replaced the Santos house.
Yeah, their
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
workshop.
I didn't realize that was removed.
Yeah,
I guess it wasn't in good shape or something.
Mm. Well,
it was their workshop, I think.
It had a whole bunch of windows along the front.
right.
I remember. Yep. I remember that. Yep. Okay.
All right, great.
Sounds good. You all agree on your comments?
And
I
you've
believe
included
so.
the neighborhood?
Yes.
We want to view the neighborhood.
Yes.
Okay. And across the street too? I mean,
I-
how do we get to look at that? As Mary said.
I'll have to let the applicant know that that was a request from you all. I don't know how you can I mean, it's the neighborhood, to be honest with you, I don't know about across the street, but I understand it. I can just let him know and see what he can provide. So.
And
Well,
I'm
There's
sorry.
nothing, no, this is Clement. I'm just thinking there's nothing much to view across the street, except if you walk by, you see what's existing there now is a little shotgun house, but what they're proposing, you can't predict what that's going to look like, but anyway.
I mean, and I understand the streetscape, the context is all changing, but I think also we need to realize that they are two separate applications, two separate, ownerships, applicants, designers. So yes, it would be nice to see it in its full context, but at the same time, that is part of a concern, an issue that they're separate.
Well, as long as the commission, I I mean, ourselves, I think we can agree we're doing this. I hope the HDC also, which I know they do, is to keep in their minds that right across, just so they know, are aware that there's big changes being planned for a historic neighborhood. And I know they know that, even though they're separate applications. We could be
Where
our
are
own
we
little plan.
changing the
We could
beach
be our
to?
own.
It should be pointed out.
Holly, where do we stand with 10 Beach now?
I don't know. I'd have to look.
We
If
are waiting for revisions?
I believe so. Yeah. It's again, these revisions, it's up to the applicant to do the turnaround. So, and they have to sign up.
Yep. Can I make a motion to approve the minutes or the comments?
The chair will second that. I will do a roll call here. This is on the motion to approve our comments. Carolyn Ellis.
Yes.
Okay. Mary Lathrop Will.
Yes.
Angus McLeod.
Aye.
Clement Durkes.
Yes.
Rob Benchley. We're all in agreement. And I guess the next would be, unless anybody else has any other questions or comments, I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll second.
I will.
Okay, I have a second. Caroline Ellis,
Yes.
Mary Lathrop Will,
Yes.
Angus
Yeah.
McLeod,
Aye.
Clement Durkes.
Yes.
Thank you all very much.